What if I told you the most feared predator in history, a creature older than civilization itself, could be stopped not by weapons or walls, but by a single unspoken rule? Your consent? Imagine a creature older than time, an entity that defies death and feasts on life itself. Now imagine this being halted, not by sacred blades or ancient spells, but by a simple boundary, the threshold of your home. It stands frozen, powerless to cross unless you utter a single word: welcome. This is the enigma of the vampire, a predator bound by an ancient rule. Its strength lies not in force, but in persuasion, not in invasion, but in invitation. To understand this paradox is to unravel a truth buried deep within human fear and desire. Join me as we journey through forgotten legends and hidden horrors, where the line between safety and peril is as fragile as a whispered consent. Long before locks or doors, humanity marked boundaries with rituals. The Romans revered Janus, guardian of gateways, whose two faces watched both directions. In Japan, paper talismans adorned entrances, warding off unseen evils. Mesopotamians buried charms beneath their doorways, believing evil could not enter uninvited. These were not mere superstitions. They were acts of spiritual architecture, designed to fortify the mind as much as the home. The threshold was a sacred divide between order and chaos, life and death. Unlike ghosts that seep through walls or werewolves that shatter barriers, the vampire obeys the rules. It waits. It asks. It transforms predation into a twisted pact. By demanding permission, it weaponizes trust. Your compliance becomes its victory. In Slavic lore, the Strigoi corpses risen from graves return not as foreign monsters, but as familiar faces: a sibling, a parent, a child. Villagers scattered rice at thresholds, knowing the dead would compulsively count each grain, delaying their entry until dawn. In China, the Jiangxi hopping vampire was repelled by red ink talismans and rituals of distraction. These defenses were not about strength but psychology, a reminder that some boundaries exist only if we uphold them. We cling to the belief that our homes are fortresses. Yet this security is a mirage. Researchers call it territorial cognition, the primal instinct that our space is sovereign. But when a knock echoes, two instincts collide: curiosity's pull and caution's warning. The vampire thrives in this conflict, exploiting our need to trust, to connect, to hope. Consider the child in Stephen King's Salem's Lot, lured by a friend's voice to unbolt the window. The horror lies not in the attack, but in the choice, a moment of vulnerability disguised as kindness. Bram Stoker's Dracula reimagined the vampire as a Victorian aristocrat, cloaked in elegance and entitlement. His power derived not from fangs but from societal norms. In an era obsessed with etiquette, denying a noble guest was unthinkable. Dracula weaponized courtesy, turning hospitality into a trap. Today, the vampire wears new guises. It pings your inbox, glows on your screen, and thrives in algorithms. Every accept, click, every privacy waiver, every mindless scroll is a modern invitation. Digital platforms demand consent, not through force, but through design, bright buttons, and buried terms. They feed not on blood, but on attention, eroding boundaries one tap at a time. The vampire's true terror lies in its mirror, like nature. It reflects our deepest frailties: the trust we grant too freely, the red flags we ignore, the doors we open despite doubt. From plague-ridden villages to hyper-connected cities, the question remains: would you have invited it in? In every era, the vampire adapts. It is the scammer's smile, the corporate algorithm, the stranger in your DMs. Its rule endures because it taps into an eternal truth: the greatest threats are those we welcome ourselves. The threshold is not wood or stone. It is the space between caution and curiosity, between no and yes. Every invitation, whether to a creature of night or a pixelated stranger, carries a price. The vampire's lesson is clear. True safety begins not with locked doors, but with the wisdom to know when to keep them closed. As you navigate a world brimming with unseen thresholds, remember, the most dangerous monsters are those we willingly let inside. Next time you hesitate before clicking accept or answering a stranger's call, remember, the oldest monsters never died. They just learned new ways to ask, "May I come in?"